his home, and he said that. He has one home in Fuente Alvilla, and his other is here in Catalonia. Let's talk about Fuente Alvilla. I think you visited his town. But let's take a look at some other images. We've taken a look at some other images of Andrés Iniesta when he was young. Yes, and I'm very excited to be able to show off some of these images. We're talking about 1999, the 22nd of July, when the Barca under-16 team won the Nike Premier Cup with a game-winning goal from Andrés Iniesta. And this was the first interview that he gave, and it was the first time he actually spoke to the cameras with Barca TV. This is what he said when he was just 13 after having won the Nike Premier Cup. Again, for the under-16 team, he was just 13. See what he said.
Segurament haurà estat el gol més important de la teva vida, el que has marcat avui en la final de la Nike.
Sí, hombre, de momento sí. Es un gol muy importante para todo. Hemos sido campeones del mundo y creo que...
Well, we have carried this video before on fcbarcelona.com. I have seen this video myself, exactly what Andrés Iniesta says here. I'm having a technical difficulty right now with the audio, so I can't hear exactly what he's saying or the question that he's being asked, but I do recall he was always very humble. And I believe in this interview, he talked about teamwork and everybody supporting each other out on the field, and that it felt great to win. He's always been a very humble player, Andrés Iniesta. Everybody who's heard him speak before and after games and press conferences, he doesn't make big, catchy declarations and statements. He's always been about the team. And it's not just reflected in his statements, but also in his play on the field. That's right. Now that I recall, he wanted to go on to play for the first team eventually, and that actually came true. That's right, yeah. He said when he was under 16 team and he was only 13, he would be excited and motivated to eventually go on to play for the first team, and that's exactly what happened. The same thing happened when Jaume Marceta, my Barca TV colleague, asked some questions to a young Lionel Messi. There was this ambition that you could see and that they spoke out loud about. And knowing that there was so much competition in the midfield in those younger teams, and there was also Xavi as well. So for players to come out and say that it was their dream and their hope to come out and eventually go on to play for the first team, that's great, but the amount of competition is unbelievable. And Iniesta went on to become a role model for many people.
Sí, pensa, perdona, si em permets, amb aquell equip tinc aquí les dades de la...
If you let me take a look at this team and see who played on that under-16 team with Iniesta, Roqueta, Troiteo, Jordi Gilberto, and some others. A lot of them, they're not in football anymore. Andrés Iniesta is the only one, and a lot of those guys were very good football players. Of course, there's a mix of things that go into it. It's luck, a little bit of talent, a little bit of circumstances, but we feel very fortunate to be able to follow this renewal of Andrés Iniesta, again, signing a lifetime contract with FC Barcelona today. But going back to Fuente Alvilla, you even went to Andrés Iniesta's winery. Yeah, it was last summer, when he came out with a line of sparkling wines, and we saw his vineyards. It's spectacular what I saw there. And it's incredible to see what Iniesta means, not just in Fuente Alvilla, but in all of La Mancha. He really is big there. You can't imagine how much of an idol he is there in that region of the country. But what I'd like to highlight is the investment, the personal investment that he's made to do this. He wanted to invest in his community. He came from humble origins, from his community, the land where he grew up, and he invested a lot of money in that from his own pocket. It defines him, his character, and his family. It's something that I think a lot of football players would be smart to pay attention to. And it's what he wanted to do. He wanted to create wealth for the place where he came from. And that's something that I think really needs to be highlighted here with Andrés Iniesta. Another thing to highlight with Andrés Iniesta is football titles, of course, because he has an incredible list of honors. 634 games played, second all-time at the club, 55 goals scored, 8 league championships, 4 Champions League titles, 5 Copa del Rey titles, 3 Spanish Super Cups, 7 European Super Cups, backwards. And there were some others there. In 2010, he finished second in the FIFA Ballon d'Or. In 2012, he finished third in the FIFA Ballon d'Or. That was the year that Messi won. Xavi finished second, and Andrés Iniesta finished third. Barca swept the podium in the 2012 FIFA Ballon d'Or awards. 2012, he was named the best player in Europe by UEFA. In 2012, he also was the player of the 2012 Euro Cup, the MVP. And he's second on Barca's all-time appearances list with 638. Xavi is first, and Messi is third. We just said last week, Messi went past Puyol to move into the top 3. And there, Andrés Iniesta is second with 638. Xavi still has over 700. And Puyol is fourth, and Messi is third. Iniesta second, Xavi first. So another interesting statistic for Iniesta, and he's still playing. How many more games does he have left? We always said the career of football players tend to be pretty short, but he's been playing with the first team for 15 seasons. To see a player that faithful to the team he came up with is not so common these days. There's a lot of movement in the market, there's a lot of competition, a lot of money out there, and it's a lot easier for players to move around to different teams. It's harder to keep them. A long time ago, you didn't see a lot of players that grew up here in the Barca system and the Barca Academy moving on to other clubs. That is something that happens a lot now, which is what makes, and it happened with Xavi, but Iniesta is staying here for the rest of his life, and it'll probably happen with Lionel Messi. So it's something that makes the club bigger, in a sense, and knowing that is something great for the club and all of its fans. In looking at Andrés Iniesta's career, he's also generated a lot of historic and unforgettable moments, not just for Barca, but for the Spanish national team. Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. This is one of probably the biggest moment in Iniesta's history for Barca. Barca was down in extra time, and they had to score a goal to win an aggregate. And Iniesta, in extra time, scored the goal. It actually didn't win the game for Barca. It tied the game, but because of the aggregate, it sent Barca through on away goals. Pep Guardiola's team would go on to win the UEFA Champions League that year. That was Barca's third title of the season, Copa Liga and Cup, Liga and Champions. Barca would go on to win the Champions League. It was a cross by Dani Alves. They didn't clear it. Chelsea, all they had to do was clear it to get out of here. Another failed clear. It went over to Messi. Messi to Iniesta. He one-times it, and Peter Cech dove. He couldn't get it into the upper right-hand corner, and that goal in injury time tied the game, but gave Barca the advantage on away goals. It was bedlam there. I still remember watching it on TV. It brings almost a tear to my eye and goosebumps seeing what happened, because everybody knew that that was over. That goal sent Barca through. Iniesta pulled his shirt off. He ran to the corner flag. This game, of course, was away at Chelsea in Stamford Bridge in London. And here we are with Andrés Iniesta. These are live pictures of the presidential VIP area in Camp Nou, right here inside the stadium, with Andrés Iniesta and on the left, FC Barcelona president Josep Maria Bartomeu, about to sign the contract that will keep Andrés Iniesta at FC Barcelona for the remainder of his career. It's a lifetime contract, as we said. They are flipping the pages, signing or initialing in the margin, in the left margin of each page. Iniesta right-handed, Bartomeu left-handed, smiling for the camera. There are photographers on hand. Iniesta with a big smile, Bartomeu happy as well. They are formalizing this signing of Andrés Iniesta. Remember the hashtag Forever Iniesta. And it's great for him, it's great for the club, and it's great for the fans, of course, which is why we're all here. We're here for the fans, and it's something that Andrés Iniesta never has forgotten as a player. He knows that he's playing, and he represents the Blaugrana colors. He knows he's playing for himself and his family. He's always been a really classy player, but he is very, very conscious that he is playing for the fans, always a humble guy, and it is absolutely wonderful news to see Andrés Iniesta putting pen to paper to sign a lifetime contract with FC Barcelona here today at Camp Nou on Friday, October 6th, 2017. It's just before 1 p.m. Central European time, and there are a lot of pages here to this deal, not surprisingly. And they're just plugging away with the signatures there, signing each page in the margin. And, you know, he's been a midfielder. It's interesting to point out that he hasn't been one of the greatest goal scorers. He had some historic goals, but he's been one of these unsung heroes. He's almost like a field marshal. He's in the midfield and kind of in a little bit of an anonymous position there, but he's always been humble. And there's a handshake and a hug between the president of FC Barcelona, Josep Maria Bartomeu, and the midfielder Andrés Iniesta. And they've both been smiling. How can they not be this whole time? And now I think they are standing up. They're going to stand up and have some more pictures taken next to the first and second shirts for this season. The first shirt is the Blaugrana with the new sponsor Rakuten on the left, and on the right is the second, the electric blue jersey, which Barca has worn on a few occasions this year, and the famous number 8 for Andrés Iniesta. Don Andrés Iniesta, as he is known in some corners. And I believe in just a second there, we are going to hear a statement from both President Bartomeu. You can see on the TV in the background there the hashtag Sempre Iniesta. In English, we are using the hashtag Forever Iniesta to mark this very special occasion, the signing of who is undoubtedly, along with Xavi, the greatest midfielder in FC Barcelona history. 30 titles under his belt with the first team of FC Barcelona. Only Leo Messi has that many with the same number. These are some photos, live photos. As we see, they've walked out, they've ducked out of the doors there behind the presidential VIP area in Camp Nou, and now they're having their photos taken in front of the field with several of the club photographers, with Pep Segura on the right and Jordi Mestre on the left, club directors, and now they will put their hands together in a symbolic act of unity for the lifetime contract just signed moments ago by Andrés Iniesta. They will be making a statement shortly. There is Andrés Iniesta's father in the middle here, and it's his birthday today, Mr. Iniesta. What a great way to celebrate your birthday, by having your son sign a lifetime contract with FC Barcelona. That's not a birthday gift that you get every day, and I'm sure that he'll remember that for the rest of his life as well. Other members of the FC Barcelona executive structure looking on as President Bartomeu and Andrés Iniesta head back into the area where they just signed the contracts moments ago.
Al final l'Iniesta es va emancipar, es va casar, va tenir fills...
It's worth noting that the family moved to nearby Barcelona for a few years, but then he got older, he wanted to get out and get his own place, he ended up getting married, and of course he doesn't live with his parents anymore. We want to remind you that stay with us as we provide ongoing coverage to all FC Barcelona fans, both here in Barcelona and around the world, of this special day. He'll be out on the field in just a few moments to pose for more pictures in front of the media, and then we'll be giving an official statement in a few minutes. But for now, stay with us. We're live again. Here's the famous goal. They call it the Iniestazo in Spanish. It was a failed clearance by Chelsea. Barca down a goal, had to score in second half injury time, and there it was. I get goosebumps and a tear comes to my eye just watching that, because I remember I was sitting on my sofa. It was probably the moment that made me a Barca fan. I remember people were on the roofs of their cars going down to the center of Barcelona to the Canaletas fountain. The goal put Barca through to the UEFA Champions League final that year. They were counted out. They were left for dead until this moment. They were down a goal to Chelsea. They were down on aggregate, and they had to go ahead on aggregate to go through on away goals. And that goal, with just seconds left in second half injury time, you can see Pep Guardiola on the sideline there running. This was probably the most famous moment in Andrés Iniesta's career for FC Barcelona, certainly. He took off his shirt. He knew it. They knew it. The Chelsea knew it. Here's Andrés Iniesta, arguably the other moment. This is the goal that he scored in the 2012 FIFA World Cup final, also very late in the second half, which is a 0-0 game. He scored a goal to put Spain up 1-0 against the Netherlands. Spain went on to win the World Cup. He dedicated the goal to his good friend, Danny Harkey. Also a very emotional moment for everybody, myself included. I'm trying to hold back some tears right now, because these are singular moments in the history of any team and any player and any fan of these teams, and to see it again is just breathtaking. You're almost lost for words. So those two goals for Iniesta, that's when Barca won the Copa del Rey in the final game of the Vicente Calderón last season in May, which Barca won last season. Another in a long list of Copa del Rey titles that Andrés Iniesta won. And again, these are live images as Iniesta and Bartomeu come down to the field at Camp Nou with club photographer Miguel Ruiz there taking photos. As the photographers and journalists are on hand, they're going to unveil he's posing with the Barca shirt this year, and it says Andrés Iniesta forever.
Sí. A mi fa molta il·lusió. La veritat és que per tots aquells que hem seguit la trajectòria Iniesta pràcticament des del primer dia, perquè clar, pensa que Barça TV té 18 anys d'història.
Some of the photographers are shouting, "Look over here, please." And they're out there in the midfield, fittingly in the midfield, where Andrés Iniesta spends a lot of time roaming around, deking defenders, and keeping possession for FC Barcelona. As we pan away to the slogan of FC Barcelona, Més que un club, which of course means more than a club. And if there's one player who embodies this feeling that FC Barcelona is more than a club and it's involved in more than just football, that player would have to be Andrés Iniesta. And there we are, out in the center circle, smack dab in the middle of the Camp Nou field, the lush green turf, where Andrés Iniesta has called home for the last 15 years here at FC Barcelona. What better way to celebrate this signing, the lifetime contract for FC Barcelona? They want to make sure, club officials, that they get that shirt. No doubt it will be enshrined in the club museum, along with some images of the moment that you are watching live right now, and some other memorabilia from throughout the career of FC Barcelona's number 8, Andrés Iniesta.
Jo crec que és amb Messi el jugador més ovacionat cada cop que deixa el terreny de joc. Messi, que el deixa poc, però clar...
Probably the biggest ovation game to game has to go to Leo Messi, but Andrés Iniesta gets a huge ovation every single game, and he's the first captain. And there's really nothing negative that you could ever say about Andrés Iniesta in his whole career. I mean, you know, some players, there's something out there that you could pick and say, well, Andrés Iniesta, there's nothing. There's nothing. He's bulletproof.
d'Andrés Iniesta, d'aquesta renovació. És una de les coses que ha estat comentant en els últims mesos, que és que ell volia...
And again, going back to this contract, this re-signing for Andrés Iniesta, he said he wanted to stay, but as the months ticked by and people were saying, hey, where's Iniesta's contract renewal? Is he going to resign? Is he not? And, you know, people worry. Not because the negotiations are going poorly. Negotiations were always going okay, but people wanted to see him locked up, and today that actually happens. This is his home. These are his colors. He feels that way as well. The team is basically his.
Incentius, m'hi va currículum i escolta tu, i ja està. No. Aquests jugadors no volen això. Per arrossegar-se, s'estimen més arrossegar-se.
The club knew that they had to do it, and now live images, Bartomeu on the left, the FC Barcelona president, and Andrés Iniesta. Are these... No, sorry, these are not live images. This was just a few minutes ago as they sat down to actually ink the contracts between Andrés Iniesta and FC Barcelona. He was just 12 years old when he came to Barcelona from Albacete. They discovered this player at a Brunete tournament in Albacete, and not long after, Barca brought him to the Catalan capital, and he's won so many titles and done so much for the club and the city, not just here in Barcelona, his adopted home, but the community where he's from, back in Albacete in La Mancha, wearing the shirt of FC Barcelona. And we're just waiting, because a few minutes ago they will be in the press room giving a statement to the media who have gathered around. What is it like when Andrés Iniesta is out on the pitch? How does he change the dynamic of play? A lot. He plays in a different way. He's won so many titles. There have been titles that they've won where he's played sometimes more, sometimes less. He has had some occasional injuries from time to time. But you notice the difference when Andrés Iniesta is out there. The play becomes much more vertical, much more direct, goal-oriented. He marks the tempo. He knows when to slow it down, bring it back out. He knows when to attack. And those are qualities that are absolutely obligatory for FC Barcelona to dictate their style of play out on the field. And there are plenty of examples of that throughout his career. As we just saw, the re-signing of Andrés Iniesta, the actual pen going to paper, the ink signatures going down on the physical contracts, and then they stood up, posed for some photos with a couple of handshakes. We go down to the press room in Camp Nou, downstairs, to Cristina Collado.
Així és, Judit, David, molt bona tarda des d'aquesta sala de premsa.
And what's it like down there? Well, the press room is filling up. There's, on the left, FC Barcelona CEO Oscar Grau, with Jordi Mestre, the director, and lots of other journalists filing in. It looks like it's a press conference getting ready for a Champions League final, but it's not. It's the lifetime contract of FC Barcelona.
Ja han passat 21 anys, però és que si vol estar tota la vida. Per tant, aquí en aquesta sala de premsa...
He's been here for 21 years at the club, 15 with the first team.
I continua casat amb el Barça doncs, per tota la vida i, per tant, també els periodistes podran fer preguntes doncs, per acabar de conèixer les impressions d'Andrés Iniesta.
I think that the journalists here are going to be able to ask some questions. It was supposed to be just a statement by President Bartomeu and Andrés Iniesta. We are ready to begin in just a few minutes. Thank you, Cristina. We'll be back down there in a few minutes when they are ready to get underway. They're going to ask him all sorts of questions about the renewal. They're going to ask him about the current events surrounding the club, no doubt. He took to Twitter yesterday to express his view, and he says, I never have publicly spoken about situations so complex as what's going on in Catalonia, and one thing I am clear about is that before we create any more damage, we have to have dialogue. Do it for us. We deserve to live in peace. A message from Andrés Iniesta on his official Twitter account. That was yesterday, October 5th, 2017, at 5:48 p.m. Central European Time. That's where we are here in Barcelona. And it's worth noting that when Barca goes to play in away stadiums, Iniesta is always applauded by fans in other stadiums. And it's similar to what Gerard Piqué said the other day. He said that we need to talk. And it's very brave to say, for players to say what they think on such a complex issue as the current political situation in Spain and Catalonia, which of course by now many people know about. After the match that was played at Camp Nou last Sunday, in which Barca won 3-0 against Las Palmas, but the stadium was completely empty. Well, that's right. It's Andrés Iniesta. He's the captain.
Mai una paraula més gruixuda per damunt de l'altra. I això és una cosa que s'ha de valorar i ho hem de continuar valorant. Jo insisteixo, espero que...
And it's something that we have to keep talking about. We hope that there are no negative repercussions and that people keep respect for others. And it's good to hear Iniesta say that. That's true. And, you know, Iniesta was educated here at La Masia, and I think that the values that he learned here at Barca, you can see very clearly in the way that he speaks and the way that he carries himself both on and off the field.
Sobretot els que han vingut de fora, evidentment els que són d'aquí i que estan a diferents categories, però de manera molt
It's something that we see with people who grew up here. But Iniesta, you know, he came here when he was 12 years old, but it's absolutely spectacular the way he carries himself. Remember when he was young, a lot of people said maybe he's not fast enough, he's not strong enough, he's not tall enough to go on to be a great player, but he proved all the doubters wrong, and he did it with talent, with effort, with hard work, and respect. One of those great values that he wears on his sleeve every single day. As we take another look back at images that we saw just a few minutes ago, and now we are going to live images in the press room here at Camp Nou, where Andrés Iniesta and club president Josep Maria Bartomeu are going to field questions with regard to this contract renewal, a lifetime contract for FC Barcelona's number 8, Andrés Iniesta. There is a horde of photographers and journalists on hand there with the hashtag #BeBarca and Forever Iniesta, the hashtags of the day here at Camp Nou. The shirt, we remind you, says Andrés Iniesta per sempre, which means forever in Catalan. And it's worth noting that Barca's next game is at the Metropolitano in Madrid, where Atletico is playing their games this year, as we get ready to hear from Josep Maria Bartomeu, FC Barcelona president. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Today is one of those days that makes you proud to be a culé, a Barca fan, and to see this club grow and to do such positive things like, for example, the signing of Andrés Iniesta to a lifetime contract. After 118 years of history, Barca is extending a lifetime contract to a player. This contract is a reward to a player who is exceptional. So that's why this is an exceptional agreement as well for Andrés Iniesta. He's a player who came here when he was 12 years old. Everybody knows that by now. And he's basically been here his entire life, defending the colors at Barca. And he also is a big piece of this era from 2003 forward, which the club has won a lot of titles and has a lot of success, a lot of growth in the club. And Andrés is one of those players who's been here since 2003, and he's brought balance to the team, balance to this core of players. And there's always one who is really, really key, and that is Andrés. I want to thank him on behalf of all the culés around the world. And we thank you for being part of this winning era, this winning cycle. And we're happy to give you this deal. In the history of Barca, there's no other player who has come up through the club like this, and we wanted to give him this contract, this deal. He deserves it. I think that Barca fans everywhere will be very satisfied. He's a role model for future generations. I've said it constantly that the young players at La Masia right now pay attention to Andrés, not just his talent, not just his way of playing, but how is he as a person? How is Andrés Iniesta? What's he like? He's an inspiration for everybody. And it's his dad's birthday today, and this is an extra present for their family celebration. We want to thank Andrés for the extra effort he's put in, and me as a president and a Barca fan, I'm happy to see you continue with the club, and we're happy to have you with us forever. Thank you very much.
Bueno, buenos días a todos.
Good morning to everybody.
Un poco raro aquí.
I feel a little strange here.
Bueno, hoy es un día.
Today is.
Vuelve a ser un día muy especial.
It's a very special day for me.
Como lo han sido otras veces por el simple hecho.
As have other days been, because of the fact that I'm going to continue here at my home, at this house, to be able to continue dreaming of success and getting winning for this club. This is where I've grown up. This is where I've evolved as a person, as a player. It's where I've become the captain of this institution, this sports club. It's a privilege for me, and I want to thank the club and President Bartomeu and the board of directors for giving me the opportunity and for having confidence in me to extend this contract to me and to continue generating excitement and objectives, putting objectives there to attain in the coming years. And looking forward to getting to the end of the season to see what is best for everybody. And I think that that's something that is priceless. We were talking about other things a few days ago, but I always said, and I always was very clear since I arrived here at the club, my link to the club or my love towards this club is never linked to confrontation or any other ideas. I will be here until my body, mind, and soul and everything I have to give is sufficient. And I hope it can be like that for many more years. That is what I think. I want to repeat my gratitude to the president and the club, because like I said many times, better here, I won't be better off anywhere else other than here. I'm happy. I want to be able to get to the end of this season and achieve the objectives that we set for ourselves to give the Barca fans around the world the gift that they deserve. And that is my intention. Thank you very much. I hope it's for many more years. A round of applause for Andrés Iniesta. Again, the Andrés Iniesta per sempre is Catalan for Andrés Iniesta forever. And the hashtag today is Forever Iniesta in English.
Andrés, en nom de tots els culers...
Andrés, on behalf of Barca fans everywhere and football fans everywhere, not just Barca fans, we want to thank you. Andrés Iniesta is the star of the day. We want to leave the floor to him. And we will focus our attention on Andrés. Thank you very much. Can I lower the microphone? And there they go. The microphone is down. Feels a little more comfortable there that way. Thank you very much. One question per person. Please state your name and the media outlet you represent.
Sí. Andrés Iniesta, aquí Cristina Collado per Barça TV.
Cristina Collado from Barça TV. What does this lifetime contract mean to you? We hope it's for many more years. And beyond the, what's it mean for you on the field and beyond that? What does it mean for you after your playing career is finished? As I said before,
es un día muy feliz.
It's a very happy day for me. I wouldn't say that
de hoy en sí. Y yo creo que
I wouldn't say that it's just a day that's about the present.
Renovación, ampliación, acuerdo como
This
como queramos
extension, this
llamarlo,
renewal, whatever you want to call it,
hay muchísimos años, hay muchísimo
there
sacrificio, muchísimas
is a lot of sacrifice, a lot of
situaciones,
years of experience,
buenas, no tan buenas,
a lot of
y
great
por eso,
moments, a
pues,
lot of
me
moments
llena
that
de
weren't
orgullo
quite as
poder
good.
volver
But
a
I'm
dar
very
un paso
proud
más
to be able to take one more
junto a
step
mi club, y eso
together with my club.
es innegable.
That's undoubtable for me.
Me habéis oído hablar
You heard
sobre
me
todo un año
discuss
atrás que
1 year ago
bueno, que mi intención siempre
that my intention was
es y ha
always
sido estar aquí
and is to
el
always
máximo de
be
tiempo
here
posible,
as long
pero
as
sabiendo
possible.
yo que
But knowing
no estaré
that
simplemente aquí por
I-
estar o por
I'm not just going to
acompañar,
be here
siempre
to be
tener la
here
convicción
for the sake of
estar en
being
los
here.
sitios porque sumas, porque eres
I
importante,
want to be here
porque
because I'm an
tienes
important person, because I
trascendencia
mean something
en el equipo, en los
to the club
compañeros,
and to
en
the
la
team,
gente,
to my teammates, to
en
the
el club,
people here
y
at the
esa es
club.
mi intención,
And that's
como he
my
dicho, ojalá y sea
intention.
por
I hope
muchísimo
that
tiempo
is for
y
many more
créeme que
years.
ahora, a
And
día de
believe me,
hoy,
when I say today,
me cuesta pensar en
it's tough for me
en
to
lo
even
que mi
consider
cabeza pensará en
uh,
mayo, junio, porque
about May or
porque no lo
June,
sé. O sea, lo que
because I
tengo
don't
claro
know.
es que
What I
ahora
do know
mismo
is that right now,
estoy muy feliz
I'm
de
very
cómo está
happy
saliendo todo y
with the
lo
way
que quiero
everything
es
is
que
going,
ojalá
and
y
my
siga siendo así. A
intentions
partir de ahí,
are that I
pues,
hope it keeps going that way.
veremos lo
In
que
the
pasa. Y
future, we'll
respecto
see
a
what
mi
happens.
futuro,
And
de hoy me veo
as far as my
jugando a
future,
fútbol con
I
las
see
botas
myself playing,
y el futuro pues
and
ya se verá.
we'll see what happens in the
Me
future.
gusta tampoco planificar
I don't really
a
like to
largo plazo,
plan
porque en cualquier
too
momento
many
las
years in
cosas
ahead, because
pueden
at
cambiar.
one specific moment,
Hola,
things
Andrés,
could
enhorabona
change.
per la renovació, Edgar Fornós de RAC1.
Edgar
Crec que
Fornós
a
from
finals
Rack
d'estiu,
One,
quan et preguntaven per la qüestió,
at the end of the
deies,
summer, when they
"M'agrada
asked you
moltes coses,
about
la família, però
a lot
també
of things, your family,
la conversa que tindrem al míster, amb
and
el míster Ernesto Valverde. M'agradaria saber
about the new coach,
fins a quin punt ha estat important el que t'ha pogut transmetre ell i aquesta confiança.
how important has the coach been to this?
Valorar muchas cosas, pero
Well, I looked at a lot of different things,
hombre, salvo que me hubiese dicho lo contrario,
but it's something
no veía. O sea, sabía que me iba a decir.
I knew that
me iba a decir que no contaría conmigo.
I wasn't going to say
me conozco,
that he shouldn't
sé cómo estoy, sé
shouldn't
lo
count
que
on me
puedo
as a player. I
aportar,
know what I
sé-
can bring to the
sé
table.
hasta dónde puedo llegar.
I know what I can do.
Y bueno, no ha habido nunca una conversación.
And there were
de
never
decir,
any
"Mister,
conversations
¿qué
about,
quieres
hey,
conmigo o qué decides?", ¿no? Yo
coach, do you want me?
he
What's your
tenido
decision?
conversaciones con él como he tenido con
I had conversations with him like I had with everybody.
la palabra
all
ilusión y
coaches,
la palabra
And talking about
ganas de
excitement and
seguir
hunger
aportando
and
es
motivation
lo
and
que
bringing
cuenta, y ese era
to the
mi-
team, that's what matters to me.
pensamiento, y
And that's
a
what
día de
I've
hoy,
always
pues,
thought.
está
And
siendo
today,
así. Ojalá y sea-
that's the way it still is.
sea la
I
tónica
hope
de todo el año, porque eso será
that's
una
what
muy
will
buena señal.
empower the year.
Què tal,
And that
Andrés?
brings
Bona tarda,
us
Ramon Salmurri de
forward.
Catalunya Ràdio. Aquesta setmana et sentíem reclamar
Question from Catalonia Radio.
En el cas de la renovació del Leo,
In looking at the renewal of Leo Messi, is this
Bueno, yo no sé.
the only thing that was left to do?
En este caso personal de Leo con el club, pero
In Leo's personal situation,
pienso y creo que
I
el
think
diálogo
that
es lo que
dialogue
menos puede faltar. Es
is
decir, el club
something that's definitely
quiere
not
que-
lacking.
que Leo esté aquí, como
I think
queremos
that
todos.
the
Leo
club wants
quiere estar
Leo
aquí,
to be here. He
y
wants
por
to
lo
be
tanto yo
here.
creo que siempre lo he
So
dicho,
I've always said
ojalá
it.
y esa historia nunca acabase, porque entiendo
I hope that this story never
que
ends.
Leo es único y
Because
es
he's
una
unique.
pieza,
Leo is
diría que
unique.
imprescindible para
He's
conseguir
absolutely
éxitos. Y el
necessary.
pensamiento
We
del
can't
club,
live without him. And I
vamos,
think that
con
the
llegar
club
mano en el
thinks the
fuego,
same
que
way.
es el mismo.
I would say that they
que-
believe the same
de
thing.
que llegue el
It's just a
momento
question
y-
of the
y
time
ojalá y pues sea
arriving,
lo antes
and
posible.
I hope that it's as soon as possible that he renews.
Víctor Lozano de Onda Cero.
Victor Lozano from Onda Cero.
Has convertit en el... Bueno, felicitats per la renovació.
Congratulations for renewing.
Has convertit en el primer jugador en la història del club.
You've become the first player in club history to sign a lifetime contract.
No sé si especial, però...
Do you feel special in that sense?
Bueno, com el que ja ets, no? Un mite del...
That you're kind of like a legend, a myth in the
Bueno,
history of
son las
football?
palabras que he dicho antes de
Well, that's
agradecimiento a-
what was said by the president earlier. That's what I said. I thank the president, I thank the board of directors and the fans and everyone in the world
cariño, por el
for the
respeto,
love and for the
por todo
respect,
lo que me demuestran
for
cada
everything
día.
they've shown me. throughout my career.
Eso es así. También
and that's the way it is.
El hecho de que no confundiésemos las cosas, el titular de por vida no
I don't want to confuse things. The fact that it's a lifetime contract, you know, I'm going to be here playing games, and I'm going to be here
no es mi
with the
pensamiento, no es
team.
mi forma de actuar y sería como he dicho muchas veces.
That's not really for me to evaluate.
Que uno no se vea con la fuerza o la importancia.
I've always said when somebody doesn't know what's going to happen, you know, it's not a big deal.
Cambiaremos las ideas,
and you know, your ideas change, but as of today, I have nothing but total thanks and complete gratefulness that they extend this amount of confidence to me.
Cuento con la confianza
and I'm happy to have the trust of the club and everybody involved. And we'll see what happens at the end of the season and what the situation is, and we'll look at everything together.
Andrés.
And that's just what it is.
Carlos
Escolara from Radio Marca.
Después de
From what I understand,
zonas mixtas, actos publicitarios, preguntándote por lo mismo,
all the
ganas en tranquilidad con
interviews
esta renovación.
And everything you've said, are you more relaxed now, having renewed finally?
No es tranquilidad, no es tranquilidad.
It's not really. It doesn't really make me relaxed per se. If we hadn't come to an agreement,
visto que este punto podía llegar,
or if we hadn't thought that this day would arrive, we wouldn't be here.
Volvemos a ganar en confianza, volvemos a ganar en
ambición,
volvemos a
we have ambition, we have confidence, we're excited.
A ganar en cariño o en
and we have love, mutual love and mutual respect. All that is between us. So, as with everything in life, people have different opinions and different ideas and different ways of seeing things, and it's just a question of finding common ground and with everybody feeling comfortable. And that's what happened.
Andrés, Emilio Pérez de Rozas del periódico, es evidente que no te puedes retraer, digamos, a los
From a periódico, it's evident that after being here for so long, somebody like you, to be able to achieve what you've achieved and then end up with a unique contract, a lifetime deal, that's really strong. In that, throughout all of these years, nobody may have ever thought that this day would come, that you would become the player that you have throughout all these years. Yes, it's a, for me, it's a feeling that's almost indescribable in terms of my feelings. To come to a club like this when you're 12 years old and be here today at the age of 33 in front of all of you and look back and see everything that's happened.
Cuando lo preguntabas, pues me estaba dando un escalofrío por el cuerpo.
You know, people ask me that, it gives me goosebumps.
De sentimiento.
We're talking about feelings. We're talking about love for what you do. Seeing where you are, for where you are. And that's the most important thing. This is my home. It's, I can't be better than anybody in any other place. As you said, as I said, to be here and to see them extend this kind of confidence with this kind of contract, for me, it's very important. Above all,
Lo que me hace entender es que confían en la honestidad de uno,
helps me understand
en la humildad de uno y confían
the humility, the confidence they have in me, and that's the most important thing for me.
Sí, Jordi Quixano del diario El País.
From El País. In this last year, did you ever think that you might not continue at Barca? Did you have any doubts? I think that everybody that thinks responsibly believes that anybody that's 33 years old
para seguir jugando, porque lo
that
siento.
it's not a problem of playing because that's the way I feel. I feel like I can still play. But in this kind of situation, there might be, maybe not thinking, but there might be considerations of different situations, and one has to look at the way that they feel, how things look, the motivation and excitement they have in front of them, and to see what's around you, and take a look at all of that. But doubts about not being here, it's not something I really didn't consider. It's just about looking at things and make a decision. As it has been said over the last few months, the only thought is about having fun out on the field and take care of myself and perform, because in the end, when I was here with 12 years, I wanted to be a great athlete, a great person. I think today, what people say through their love is that, through the love they've shown to me, through facts and how I transmit things, and that's how I understand things.
Andrés, Santi Jiménez del diario. No, entiéndeme, entiendo que tú ahora lo que quieres es seguir jugando y tu contrato es para seguir, pero imagino que este contrato por vida te va a llevar a seguir vinculado, si tú quieres, y el Barcelona también,
Imagine
a partir de
this
que tú
with
te
the contract,
del mundo del fútbol activo.
that even when you retire as an active player,
¿Te gustaría estar?
have you thought about what you would like to do? Would you like to be training with kids in the academy?
Que te empezabas a plantear
Or,
a partir de cumplir una cierta edad.
or is that going to be beginning at a certain age?
No.
No.
No me lo he planteado.
I haven't thought about that.
Quiero hacer esto, quiero...
I haven't thought about, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that.
Mi presente es el fútbol, es ser
I'm thinking right now about football, about being a football player, and having as much fun as possible, and taking care of myself to extend my contract, to extend my career as long as I can.
Corre en mi contra en ese sentido.
It's true that time is a little bit of against me. I'm 33.
No me ponga las botas de fútbol, eso es.
Every year, I'm 1 year closer to not to hanging up the spikes. But I'm going to try and prepare myself for the future as best I can. One thing I have clear is that I will be involved in football. I don't know exactly how, but something related to football for sure. Football is my life. It's practically not the only thing I've ever done, but it's where I feel most comfortable. And from there we will see, but it's something that I've been planning for many years. And it is a little risky because some things can change very quickly. And your thoughts could come crashing down at any moment.
Sí, hola, buenos días, Andrés, Jordi Blanco y ESPN. Has dicho al comenzar de que ahora solo pienses en acabar la temporada y entonces valorarás.
You said that you're only going to think about the season, but with the Spanish national team, are you looking at things the same way, finish the season, go to the World Cup, and then retire, or to continue playing?
Bueno, podríamos hacer un poco el símil ese, ¿no?
Yeah, there might be similar thoughts in that respect. In one place and in the other.
Pero bueno, tampoco me gusta.
But I don't really like to, speculate as to what might happen, or as to how I'm going to feel in April or May or June. We'll see how things turn out. We'll see how things go.
Cómo respira todo. Que ya digo.
We'll see what happens. In February, March.
No sabemos cómo.
We don't know how you're going to feel. Everybody might feel really great. You might be really happy and really excited, and everything going well for each individual person. But we'll see. We'll see. As I said before, we're not going to try and fool people here.
a su fin en determinados
You know, as
momentos.
things
Lo que me interesa
begin
ahora
to
es
come
disfrutar
to their
de-
natural
del
conclusion,
momento, lo que hago
we'll talk about that. But for now, we're talking about what I'm doing,
así.
and hopefully I think things
Hola,
can
Andrés.
keep going
Ricardo Rossetti,
the way they are going.
Gol en directo
Question
ahora
from
mismo.
B in Sports.
Me gustaría saber si en este momento en el que se llega a un acuerdo, si ha habido que acercar
In
dos
this moment,
posturas
in
entre
coming to
Andrés
this
Iniesta y el
agreement,
club, o si ha sido simplemente una decisión tuya.
were
y
there
cuál
two
ha sido el
viewpoints,
momento
one
en
of
el
the
que has
club and
dicho,
one
renuevo?
Andrés Iniesta, or was there a moment when you just said, you know what, I'm just going to sign?
No sabría decirte.
I don't know what to tell you.
¿Cuál ha sido el kit de la cuestión, no?
And what was I don't know what the key was.
Soy muy. Bueno, ya me conocéis.
Well, you guys
desde
know
hace
me.
mucho tiempo y nos vemos muchas veces en las.
We see each
ruedas
other a
de
lot
prensa o en zonas
at
mixtas,
press
soy
conferences and in post-games
bastante
pool
claro en mis
reporting areas.
pensamientos,
You
en
know
lo
what
que
I
digo.
think and what I have said.
Nunca ha habido un problema de.
There's never been any kind of problem
entre el club y,
between the club and
Andrés.
myself.
Simplemente pues que las cosas
It's simply that
su curso, tienen que
things
suceder,
have to run their natural
hay puntos
course.
de vista, hay
There are
situaciones
perspectives, points
que
of
tienes
view.
que hablar para llegar a
You have to talk to
acuerdo o
find common ground.
y más allá de
And
eso,
beyond that,
he intentado vivir de la forma más
we just
normal
try
y
to
más
take care of
positiva
things
posible.
normally and be positive in the best way possible. And from there, this moment has arrived,
que tenía que ser.
and that's just what was in the cards.
Si queríamos que fuese antes o
If you know, it should have been before or in a different way. I don't know that, but
tiene importancia porque
those things don't matter because
las dos partes queríamos era
the
que
two
quedase
sides came together,
momento y
and this is what's going on right now, and that's how it turned out.
Felicidades.
A question from Deportes 4. Congratulations.
No has ido a la selección esta semana por esa pequeña molestia.
You aren't with the Spanish national team this week because of a small injury.
El tema de Gerard Piqué.
There's been a lot going on with the national team. Gerard Piqué spoke in a press conference. Sergio Ramos, the captain. You're one of the heavyweights. You weren't able to be there. But what can you say about the situation with Piqué?
como lo que es.
I see it the way it is.
Situación que creo que está
It's a situation
totalmente
that
desvirtuada por todos los
has been
lados que puedas
completely
mirar. Una situación
looked at by every angle. It's very, very
muy
complex.
difícil de
It's very
explicar o
difficult
de
to explain or to understand,
al final
or
es que es
in
es
the
así
end,
de
it's
difícil,
it.
¿no?
It's
De
it's
que a
very
lo mejor las
difficult.
personas que pueden pensar de
You know,
una
maybe
manera
two
diferente,
people
pues,
can think different things,
acaben
and
peleándose por
they
cuestiones así.
end up
Pero
fighting over things like this.
Siempre uno intenta
But you always
mirar la lógica,
try to
mirar
look at things
un punto
rationally
sensato,
and
y
logically,
lo único que podemos
and the only
desear es que
thing
todo-
that we
todo se
can
calme, todo se
desire is that everything
tranquilice,
calms down and gets and things are more relaxed, and we can
más tranquilos
live
de esa
and be
crispación
more
que creo
tranquil
que se
and
está viviendo ahora mismo,
leave the conflict behind, which we are having right now.
que se pide
And that's the only thing that I think
todos
we ask.
desde todos los ámbitos. Dentro de que
Something
la
that we
situación,
ask in
pues, no
every
es una
area.
situación fácil para nadie.
But it's not an easy situation for anybody. I think we hope that everybody can be happy,
Que no hubiese insultos,
that there are no insults, people aren't booing,
cualquier persona pues le incomodan.
and I think we don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable.
Su punto de vista y
And
es
that's,
difícil. No,
from any
no
point
es-
of
no es
view,
una
it's
situación
it's
fácil.
difficult. It's not an easy situation.
Hola, buenas tardes. Andrés Corpas del diario El Mundo. Enhorabuena.
From El Mundo, a question.
Por un lado, estamos hablando de un acuerdo de renovación
I wanted
inédito.
to ask you about an unprecedented deal.
¿Cuál es tu reacción cuando te ofrecen esa
What was your
renovación
reaction
vitalicia?
when they offered you
Y
this
si fue
lifetime
un-
contract?
si, ¿Cuánto duró la negociación? Si fue muy rápido desde que
And
lo
how long did the negotiations take to come to this
Bueno,
point?
Solo tengo una palabra
I only have
hacia este momento, como he dicho antes.
one thing to say about what went on until this moment,
Agradecimiento y de
and that's
confianza,
of thanks.
confianza mutua
I'm grateful
en lo que,
for the club's
en lo que somos y en
confidence
lo que representamos,
that they have placed in me
como yo como jugador y como persona.
and what we represent, both me and the club
acuerdo, es una
as a
renovación,
player and a person.
porque los dos
It's
queremos
a contract
que
renewal.
nuestra historia pues siga siga siendo
that
así.
allows me to continue on doing what I do. And it's a deal that represents a good confidence that they have in people and trust. It's very important. It's never happened before in football. And it makes me very happy that my club has given me the opportunity, the chance to be here, to do this. I hope it's going to be for a long time. I don't know how long it's going to be from today.
Hola, Andrés. Laura Brugués, de TV3.
A question from TV3.
Sí, enhorabona per la renovació.
Congratulations for the renewal.
Acompanyat durant tot el dia el teu pare.
Your father has been with you all day today.
Quan vas arribar aquí amb 12 anys, el fet de que
when you came here when you were 12 years old, and your father left you at La Masia, your dad was there that day.
Què us heu dit? T'emociona quan te n'adones i també mirant l'anell.
What did you talk about? What is it like knowing after all these years what happened with you in Barca?
Bueno, es una, como he dicho, es un día muy especial y muy significativo.
It's a very special day, very significant for me.
De sentimientos.
Above all, in terms of feelings.
De persona, a nivel de.
As a person.
De persona que ha crecido aquí.
As a person who
desde los 12 años,
grew up here his whole life with me since I was 12. I've
del deporte,
had some of the most unbelievable sports experience you could ever have. I'm in what I consider to be my home.
De que hoy, por ejemplo, pues,
I've had the chance to have my dad here with me today.
Hemos hablado muchísimas veces.
We've spoken many times. And as I said before,
o sea, soy una persona muy,
to think about these things,
muy sentida y con mucho
as a very thoughtful person,
es algo,
is something incredible.
Que llegase con 12 años y hoy esté con,
to think about coming here when I was 12 and now to be standing here when I'm 33,
pues mirar atrás y
and to look back and see everything.
Mi único objetivo es
my only objective is to, as always,
la confianza
to return everything the club has given me back to the fans in the club out on the field of play. The players, sorry, the fans look at me for the player and the person I am and what I transmit. And I've always had that in my mind. And I will always defend it for the club, and I will always put that before any other things. That's plenty for me.
Es increíble, o sea, como,
it's incredible.
Como persona
as a person,
es brutal.
It's just unreal.
Que tengo ahora de,
the feelings that I have right now
de orgullo
of pride
y de ver que
and of seeing how many things I've experienced and my family too, and to see what my family has today and see how everything has gone well, it's something that you feel deep inside. Last question. A question from Mundo Deportivo. Congratulations. You always have been clear that these were the important things for you.
En tu mente tienes algún objetivo, una edad concreta de decir.
Did you ever have one objective,
al máximo nivel,
like Pirlo, for instance, that you want to compete for a certain number of more years, or a year that you would like to say, hey, I still want to be playing when I'm X years old? No. Today, it's just feeling about how I see myself and how I feel and what I can do and how I can perform. And I'm the one that has to do that. There's nobody else that can do that for me. I know how it works. I know how the world of football is, and how everybody has their own opinion, and how each moment is its own. In the end, they are just different moments. Last year, you know, I was 6 months younger, and it looked like I might have been done. This year, it looks like everything's going well. I'm a year older, and I'm kind of living a little bit of a rebirth.
Sé dónde estoy,
I know where I am.
sé cómo funciona todo.
I know how everything works.
Que el que mejor sabe cómo se siente, cómo tiene el cuerpo y la cabeza, pues soy
that,
yo. Y a partir de ahí, pues,
my body and mind, I'm the only one who can see can feel how that is, and whatever is going to be, will be.
De sus posibilidades.
But every player is conscious of their possibilities.
Que esas posibilidades bajan.
As they
se acabará.
Go down, things will. I'll have to wrap things up.
En lo que piense, sino en todo lo contrario.
But that's not really what I'm thinking about right now. Now I'm thinking about having fun, as much fun as I can, and continuing to help make this club, this great club, continue on in glory. Thank you very much. That's it for Andrés Iniesta's press conference here at Camp Nou.
De per vida, per tant, aquest contracte històric on el president Josep
Again,
Maria Bartomeu
this historic lifetime contract for FC Barcelona, the first ever for the football team.
El seu agraïment, literalment, és brutal cap al club.
He said that it was unbelievable, that it shows the incredible confidence that the club has placed in him,
on es veu més enllà dels terrenys de joc, diu que
both on the field
però sí que té una cosa clara,
and off the field.
No estarà aquí per jugar 2 partits i ja està, sinó que jugarà sempre que pugui sumar. Per tant, té molt clar que aquest contracte de per vida sempre ha d'anar lligat també mentre pugui trepitjar el terreny de joc.
He said he really appreciated it, but he was just looking forward to
coses a l'equip, cosa que de moment aquesta temporada amb Ernesto Valverde
performing out on the field this year under the new head coach Ernesto Valverde.
Emocionat, emotiu, diu que ja ell és
there were some very emotional moments. It's also his dad's birthday, who was here today at the press conference. And it was a very nice press conference here with all the media. And a reminder that it was 21 years ago when he arrived to La Masia as a 12-year-old. Now he's 33, and he's here with Barca with a lifetime contract. And I think we can sum it up when Andrés Iniesta said that it was absolutely indescribable. So I think that we are just about ready to wrap it up for today with Andrés Iniesta. Congratulations to him, and talk to you later.
Aquesta renovació de per vida pel club de la seva vida després de 21 anys lluint la samarreta blaugrana, una roda de premsa emotiva on fins i tot ha reconegut Andrés Iniesta que tenia calfreds i tot recordant tota la seva trajectòria.